Hi there, everyone. My name's Mark Chi.
I'm Tom.
I'm the lecturer in charge for COMP1511, which, if you're watching this video, you're probably enrolled in.
And I'm the course admin for 1511, which means I'll be helping out around the place for this course as well.
So we just wanted to send you a video in advance of the course, just to welcome you to the course, and maybe give you a little bit of information so that when the course actually starts, you already know what you need to do. So as in, how to get to the class, how to access the lectures and things like that. A lot of this stuff is online at the moment, so it can be a bit fiddly to get to. It's maybe, I don't know, a little bit less easy than just walking to a room location, but I mean, like, room locations at UNSW are also hard to find.
It's true.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit first of all about what is 1511 and what do you need to know to be in the course.
Yeah. So 1511, subtitled Introduction to Programming Fundamentals, is a course that will get people into programming. So even if you have some experience with programming, that's totally fine. But if you have no experience with programming at all, and all you have is just the basic literacy to use a computer, that's enough. So that is the baseline we're going to be starting at. We're going to be teaching everyone, regardless of your ability, and there's always something for everyone to learn in the course. So what we're going to hopefully take you through is from potentially not knowing anything, by the end of the course, being able to program computers.
Yeah, awesome. So I want to talk a little bit about the sort of logistics of the course and where you'll find things. The most important website for this course is a place called WebCMS, which is where we host all of the content and important learning materials for the course. You may have been in some other courses that use Moodle instead of WebCMS. WebCMS is specific to the School of Computer Science, but it works quite similarly. We also use Moodle, but only in a limited capacity, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. If you go to WebCMS, the link should appear here somewhere. On that page, you'll see down the side there are a few important things that you'll need to look at, the most important being the course outline. This video is sort of a very short, condensed version of the course outline, but the full course outline contains everything you need to know about how assessment works in the course, how things are structured, when things will be due, all that sort of information. Really, really good place to just go and have a read now so that you understand for the rest of the term what's going to be assessed and what's going on in the course. That's also where you can, WebCMS is also where you can find things like labs, tutes, slides from the lectures as well. Yep. All that kind of thing will be hosted on WebCMS. The other place which is really useful for this course is the Discourse Forum. You'll find a link to it on the side of WebCMS. That's a forum where students can talk to each other. There'll be tutors there as well who can help you with your programming questions, and even Mark will turn up sometimes and sort of speak to us all when we're lucky enough to have it.
I will descend from the heavens to talk to you.
Exactly. I'll talk quickly about Moodle as well, because the two main things that we use Moodle for are as a link to Blackboard Collaborate, which is where all of our online tutorials will happen, and as well for Echo 360, which is where recordings of lecture content will go up, especially for if you're not in Australia and you have difficulty accessing YouTube, you'll be able to go to Echo 360 via Moodle to find that content. Speaking of lectures, do you want to talk a little bit about lectures?
Indeed. Our lectures are all going to be live streamed, so there's two 2-hour blocks for this term. So we're on Wednesday mornings and Friday afternoons. Exact times are on the website. You can check the timetable there if you need. In that, we will be covering all of the kind of core content of the course, and it will be on a live stream via YouTube Live. If you don't have access to YouTube, as Tom was saying, we will have links to where you can download the recorded lectures after the fact.
Yeah. The next place that you'll be going often during the course is to tutorials and labs. Tutorials and labs, also known as tute labs, are in a 3-hour block, and they are assigned based on what you chose in MyUNSW. You'll be able to find on your timetable exactly where and when those are. The important thing to note is that this term, thanks to a certain unprecedented event that we all know about, these will be happening in two different formats. One format is online and one format is in person. If the code for your class ends in an A, and also the email that you got this video with will tell you whether your code starts with an A or not. If it ends with an A, then that indicates that you're in an in-person class. If you're in an in-person class, first of all, you'll need to look up exactly where that is so you can go to the right place on campus. You'll also need to bring a mask with you when you're in labs, especially. Oh,
you got to put it on properly, though.
You have to absolutely put it on properly. Someone should make a meme out of that.
It's gonna happen.
So when you go into labs especially, you'll need to wear a mask. The tutorials are about an hour long, and there'll be a tutor, someone like me, will be standing up the front sort of talking you through the content and giving you sort of more interactive work to do. And then for the second 2 hours of that Tute Lab block, you'll be in a laboratory working in front of our computers on different programming problems, which will be all available from WebCMS.
So what about the online tutorials?
Good question. The online tutorials will be the same structure, 1 hour of tutorial, then 2 hours of lab, but they're hosted via a tool called Blackboard Collaborate. You can access that through Moodle, and in a moment we're going to cut to a video of me in the future telling you about exactly how you do that. Hello from the future. As you can see, I'm looking at the WebCMS 3 21T1 front page. On this front page, you'll find a list of notices, which will be sent to your email as well as being posted here about once a week. They'll let you know of any important information in the course, as well as upcoming deadlines. Looking at the side, we can see a list of different links, and all of these links will be very useful to you during your time in 1511. As a quick note, make sure that the offering that you're looking at uses purple as its theme color, or make sure that it has 21T1 up here in the top left-hand corner. Sometimes students run into issues where they're looking at old versions of the course, which would use different colors and have a different code in the top. Make sure that you're looking at the current one. Let's take a look now at how you would be able to find online tutorials, labs, help sessions, and lecture recordings. To do this, click on the Moodle link, which will take you to something looking a lot like this. If you're unable to access YouTube, you'll find that all of the lecture recordings are uploaded to Echo 360, which is a platform you can access by clicking this link. As well as that, if you're looking to access online tutorials, labs, or help sessions, you can click this link here and be taken to this interface. All of the online labs and tutorials will have their own line here, and you'll be able to navigate through the list of them to find the one that matches your class. When the time comes for you to attend your class, in this case, TO9B means it would be a Tuesday 9 a.m. class, click on the correct link and you'll get taken into a video call where you can talk to your tutor and watch the tutorial. Please note that some time slots have multiple tutorials, so check that you're going to the correct one. You'll be able to figure out exactly which slot is your correct one by two different means. First of all, the email that you will have gotten this video with should tell you which class you're in. As well as that, your tutor should send an email to you introducing themselves sometime in the next week. They'll include some information about how you can access their tutorial. Finally, please note that if you're an in-person student, you are more than welcome to attend online tutorials if you're not able to attend in person. Particularly if you're feeling at all unwell, please do not come to campus. You should attend an online tutorial. Please, if you're going to attend an online tutorial, just make sure that the tutor who is in charge of that online tutorial knows that you're coming. As well as that, if you're looking to attend any of the help sessions, you're able to click on this top link up here. That link will never change. You'll always be able to access help sessions through that link. We'll talk more about the schedule and the meaning of help sessions later in this video, but basically look out for a notice in week 2 letting you know when they're available. Moving back to WebCMS now, apart from Moodle, there are some other very useful links on this left-hand side. First of all, you'll be able to find the course forum, which is where you can discuss content of the course with other students, with tutors, and so on. Click on this link and you'll get taken directly to that course forum. In addition, there's some other useful utilities here. First of all, these links to lectures, tutorials, and labs are where you can find all of the main course content. In addition, if you're looking to find a particular lecture, you'll be able to go into the lectures tab and there'll be a link to the live streams or recordings of lectures on YouTube. You can find Mark G's YouTube channel by searching directly for it on YouTube. However, please note that live streams are not made public by default. You need to use the link that's given on WebCMS to access them. This is just to prevent spam. Under the resources tab, there are a bunch of useful different resources that you can access, the most important being the course outline. Before term starts, you should have read the course outline to make sure that you're aware of all of the specific due dates, content that's being assessed, as well as anything else that you need to know about the course. Give this a thorough read. It is a very useful thing to know about. In addition, there are resources for home computing, a style guide for our code, and also some information about Linux commands. We'll talk about these more throughout the term. Finally, there are these two links to auto-test submissions and marks. If you're looking to find out what work you've submitted, to look at what marks you've achieved, and also to look at any achievements that you've been given, you're able to go to this student page here. Following this link will take you to all of those things. We'll talk more in the first week about how you submit work and how it gets marked. But as a short summary, if you're looking to submit work online, that is, rather than using one of the methods we'll show you in week 1, you can use this link here. That's everything you need to know about how the course will be running online this term. If you have any questions, you can post on the course forum, or you can send an email to cs1511@cse.unsw.edu.au. Now, back to the past.
So we're back, and we want to talk a little bit about some of the more optional content that's in the course. So the lectures, tutorials, and labs are where we're going to deliver the core of the course. So these are the important things that you need to understand everything that you're going to do. We're also going to be giving you some optional content if you need it, which includes live streams. Now, I know this sounds a little bit funny because all of the lectures are live streams, but there will be other live streams which we will use to cover content that isn't necessary for the course, but might be really helpful for people. So these can be things like Q&A sessions, they may be guest lectures, they may be
assignment revision.
Just a little bit of revision saying, okay, this is stuff we've already taught you, but these are the things to focus on for specific assessments and things like that. What else do we have, Tom?
The other thing which we have are help sessions. Help sessions are a one-on-one time when you can find a tutor and you can have a discussion with them directly. They're particularly useful for the assignments, but also for the labs. So if you don't have enough help in your lab sessions, you can come to a help session and you'll be able to talk to one-on-one with a tutor and sort of have that extra help. They will be announced, the timing for that, I should say, will be announced in week 2. So just keep an eye out for that. There'll be an announcement on WebCMS when that's available.
Okay,
Cool.
So next up, we want to talk a little bit about what the assessment structure is for the course, because a lot of people are going to be thinking, okay, so now we know how we access all the information.
How do I pass?
Yeah. How do we show that we've actually learnt from that information? So there's 2 major assessments in the course, and these are the things that are going to be the big chunks of work that you're going to be doing. One is a set of assignments. There's going to be 2 assignments in the course, and the other is a final exam that's going to be happening at the end of the course. If you want the real nitty-gritty details about these things, they'll be in the course outline. But basically, the first assignment will be releasing around the end of the 3rd week of the course and be due around the end of the 6th week in the course, but there's more details about the due date.
Yeah.
You can have a look
Read
at that
the course
later.
outline.
Yeah.
No spoilers in this video, but
Yeah.
read the course
And
outline.
the second assignment will happen later on in the term, and it will cover the kind of second half of the teaching there. So both those assignments together are going to be worth 40% of the course, and the exam is also worth 40% of the course. The exam is going to be the big grab bag of everything. So it's going to test everything that we've taught you.
When's the exam going to be, Mark?
The exam is going to be in the exam period, which starts 1 week after the classes finish for the term. We haven't been booked in yet for exactly when the exam is, but generally we're early in the exam period, but I can't give you any more information than that until we get given a date ourselves.
And a lot of the information about the exam we will tell you closer to the date of the exam, also revision exercises and those sorts of things. But of course we first have to teach you the content before we can revise it.
Yeah.
The other thing that we might talk about as well is the sort of smaller assessment tasks. The first smaller assessment task is going to be your labs. So when we say labs, we actually mean 2 different things. There are the laboratory sessions, which are where you have some time with 2 of your tutors after each tutorial, where you can sort of work on work. But the work you're working on, we call them labs. And those labs are basically exercises to just sort of teach you the content and revise a little bit what gets taught in the lectures.
Yeah.
The other piece of content that we assess in this course is new. So one important note here, if you have any friends who took the course last year who are telling you, oh, this is how it works, make sure that you read the course outline because there are things that are different from last year.
Yeah.
But the new thing is this idea of reflections. There'll be more detail about it in the first week of your tutorials.
Yeah.
But the idea is it makes you sort of periodically reflect on your learning, decide on what the next things are that you can be doing, and there'll be some consultation with your tutor as well where you get a chance to talk to somebody about your learning and sort of what's coming next. That's going to make up the bulk of, that's going to make up all the assessment for COMP1511.
Okay, so that wraps up the assessment for the course. There's 2 more things we want to talk about before we finish up. One of them is if you have a Tuesday tutorial, your tutorial will actually be before the first lecture in week 1. So we are running tutorials in week 1. So the first person you're going to meet is actually your tutor rather than me as your lecturer. Here's an example of someone who might be your tutor.
Tutors are pretty cool.
Yes, tutors are very cool. And so if you meet your tutor first, they will take you through the beginnings of COMP1511 and what it's like to study here and things like that. You're not really going to miss out on anything in particular by having your first tutorial first. And then after the first week, everything that we cover in the tutorials is going to be from the week before. So There's no particular disadvantage there, it's just to know that you might meet your tutor first rather than your lecturer.
Mhm. The second thing which is important to note is that COMP1511 has an achievement system. The achievement system is to recognize all the things in the course that aren't just directly assessed, and you'll find that achievements pop up all over the course.
Ooh, what is that?
And so we'll talk more about achievements in your first lab and probably in the first lecture as well, but just so that you know that that is a thing that will be popping up and that you can look forward to.
Yeah, so thank you very much for watching this video and listening in today. Hopefully this gives you enough information to get started in COMP1511, and we look forward to seeing you soon.